Have you ever stopped to think about what really threatens a big idea, like a shared dream for unity? What if the biggest threats aren't the obvious ones, the ones outside, but maybe they come from inside, from the very people meant to protect it?
That's always the core challenge with power, isn't it? How do you guard against betrayal from within, especially when the stakes are so high and, well, loyalties can get murky?
Yeah, exactly. And that really sets the stage for today. We're doing a deep dive into a story that's very secretive, apparently emerging from the One Africa movement. Our mission here, for you listening, is to unpack the alleged creation of this new elite intelligence force. It's supposedly part of the One Africa Army, and it's called Zulu 9.
Okay. And our information.
It comes mainly from a YouTube transcript. Now, this transcript claims it's based on confidential documents, even mission plans, detailing this unit. So we're going to explore, based only on this source material, what Zulu 9 supposedly is, why it might have been created, how it operates, and, the big picture implications for governance, for accountability across Africa.
Right. And what's really striking right from the start is how the source presents Zulu 9. It's not just another intel unit. No, it's framed as this ultra-secret evolution of the original shadow unit Zulu.
Ah, the original Zulu unit. Remind us what their role was, according to the source.
Well, the first Zulu unit, as it's described, was basically muscle. A bodyguard function, really, protecting Chairman Lorenzo, securing peace in Sudan, absorbing rival armies into the main force. They were the protectors you could see.
Okay, the frontline defense and Zulu 9, how does it differ?
It's a total shift in focus. If Zulu was the shield, Zulu 9 is positioned as the internal watchdog. Its mission, according to the source, is all about guarding against internal rot, operating beyond public scrutiny.
So hidden, watching the watchers almost.
Kind of. Their job is described as monitoring, tracking, and then exposing African presidents, prime ministers, top officials, anyone suspected of selling out.
Selling out
Meaning abandoning that one Africa unity ideal, maybe cutting side deals with foreign powers, pocketing funds, grabbing more power for themselves, anything that undermines the collective project. It's about purifying the movement from the inside.
And the source claims this has official backing.
It does. It insists Zulu 9's mandate got a unanimous vote. This supposedly happened at the last Quiet Council of One Africa. That specific phrasing is used, held in Kigali, August 12, 2025.
Wow, very specific.
Very. And they doubled down, claiming there are confidential documents signed in gold, no less, and eyes-only mission plans. It gives the whole thing this air of almost solemn secret authority.
Okay, so if this unit is real and that powerful, what's the justification? Why the need for such secrecy and internal focus?
Well, the core argument pushed by the source is pretty direct. Africa's biggest threat today isn't necessarily external armies or, foreign intervention in the old sense. It's internal corruption and division.
That's quite a statement. It reframes the whole idea of security for the continent.
It absolutely does. It shifts the focus inward. And according to the source, Zulu 9 analysts aren't just theorizing. They've already flagged specific examples.
Like what?
Well, there's mention of a secret oil deal, supposedly in the Central African Republic. Z9 spotted it, apparently involving a leader backing out of AAU resource sharing pacts.
Okay, so undermining agreed-upon rules.
Exactly. And it gets more specific. They talk about tracking a bribery route, allegedly using AI-powered finance monitoring, that went from a Russian uranium broker straight into a senior West African president's offshore accounts.
Tech-driven surveillance finding hidden money flows.
Yeah. And then there's a leaked memo mentioned. It supposedly showed collusion between some national intelligence services and foreign agents, all trying to block something called a fruled implementation.
A fruled?
Yeah.
The source doesn't really explain what that is.
No, it's mentioned but not defined, so its exact nature is a bit unclear from the text we have. But the point being made is that these internal actions are seen as the real danger.
So the message for you, the listener, is that this One Africa vision needs protection from the inside out. The source even paints this picture, suggesting that officials flying first class into Addis Ababa might be under Z9 surveillance without even knowing it.
It implies this pervasive, almost invisible layer of oversight, all aimed at enforcing that unified vision.
Right. Okay, let's get into the mechanics then. How does Zulu 9 actually do this? The source mentions something called the Watchtower protocol.
Yeah, and this is where it gets really interesting operationally speaking.
Right.
It's not just guys in trench coats. The source describes really sophisticated methods, like embedded operatives.
Embedded where?
In 27 national ministries, we're talking defense, finance, energy, foreign affairs, key departments. That's an incredible level of claimed access.
27. That's a lot of potential listening posts.
It is. And beyond the human element, they're supposedly equipped with tech. Black Ops satellite hack teams, the source calls them, able to trace money flows, encrypted chip purchases, that sort of thing.
Wow. High tech.
And on the ground, you've got deep cover analysts. These people are allegedly posing as business figures, journalists, even diplomats, feeding intelligence right from the corridors of power. It sounds like a multi-layered intelligence web.
Okay, so they gather all this info, then what?
Then comes the digital courtroom protocol. The idea is they can launch investigations and broadcast their findings directly to this One Africa Parliament. It's all part of this Operation Watchtower, which the source outlines in 5 phases.
5 phases. Let's break those down.
Okay, phase 1, identify high-risk leaders, build dossiers on them. Phase 2, deploy those embedded analysts, gather incriminating material. The source uses the term compromise.
Okay.
Phase 3, intercept communications, calls, texts, emails, decode them. And then this is a direct quote from the source, blackmail.
Whoa, okay, blackmail, that's blunt.
It certainly is. Phase 4 involves taking the findings to the Quiet Council for a vote on sanctions. And Phase 5, if needed, is escalation. Take it to the digital parliament, push for public impeachment, or basically force the target to comply.
It sounds like a very structured process for applying pressure, potentially immense pressure.
Very structured. The source even mentions secret trigger words like antagonist, subversion, norm violation that apparently flag officials' diaries automatically in Z9's databases.
So automated suspicion triggers.
Yeah.
And has this system actually been used?
Well, here's a really startling claim from the source. It says this system has already flagged 2 current heads of state for investigation, one from Central Africa, one from East Africa.
Already targeting sitting presidents. That's huge.
It is, which naturally leads to the question, who's actually running this powerful outfit?
Right. Who's behind Zulu 9?
The source names names. General Nasha Matuli, described as a Zimbabwean decorated for cyber warfare and deep state intelligence work. She is supposedly the head.
Okay, and her second.
That would be Colonel Amina, DOP. The source says she's from Senegal, just gives the location, no country specified, and is an expert in undercover infiltration.
And their reporting structure. This is crucial. Who do they answer to? Directly to Chairperson Lorenzo and the One Africa Presidential Guard. That's what the source claims. It explicitly states they do not report to national leaders, regional blocs, or any foreign interests.
So completely centralized control, theoretically independent of the member states they might be investigating.
That's the picture painted. An independent internal affairs unit for the entire continent's leadership, in essence. And the surveillance infrastructure described is, well, vast.
How vast?
The source uses the term Plutarch-style files. Think detailed, exhaustive dossiers. It talks about mounds of audio logs, intercepted financial messages, covert video, even transcripts of, quote, whisper meetings held in foreign embassies.
Plutarch-style files. Gives you a sense of deep personal surveillance.
Absolutely. The source claims the Eye of Zulu 9 spans the continent. It throws out specific examples of their reach. A carbon fiber drone supposedly flying over Kigali, a bug coffee machine in Bamako.
A coffee machine. Seriously. That's the claim. Also, a smuggled microchip in a taxi near Libreville Airport, and even a data center in Dar es Salaam funded by ROF again, an abbreviation the source doesn't fully explain.
These examples paint a picture of almost pervasive everyday surveillance tech.
Exactly. And the source goes further, naming alleged first targets, citing 2 independent whistleblowers.
Okay, who are they?
A President X of the Mid-African Republic, suspected of funneling state revenues into a private Swiss bank, bypassing these AFRILD protocols we mentioned earlier.
Okay, financial misconduct. Who else?
A Prime Minister Y of the East Nile Union, allegedly cut a deal with mining companies, giving away rare mineral rights to off-continent corporations, ignoring a supposed One Africa resource pact.
So betraying economic solidarity, according to the allegations.
Precisely. And the source claims Z9 is already quietly gathering what it calls irrefutable proof. They're supposedly coordinating parallel audits via AU forensic accountants, too. Digital interrogation is apparently next, just waiting for the Quiet Council's go-ahead.
Okay, so this isn't just about, digging up dirt for headlines. The way it's presented, it's about systemic change, right?
That's the argument. It's framed as a potential turning point in African governance. The promise, as the source puts it, is that if a leader betrays One Africa, they will be tracked, exposed, and judged under One Africa law.
There's a phrase the source uses. Something about impunity.
Yeah. No mod, no impunity, no silence. It's positioned as an ultimate accountability mechanism.
So it paints this picture of a future where maybe presidents can't just sign secret deals unnoticed, where auditors from Johannesburg check funds in Nairobi, digital courts in Accra review digital evidence.
Exactly. Where citizens in Cairo can live stream parliamentary hearings about these things, the source suggests Zulu 9 aims to turn this kind of transparency and accountability from a fantasy into structure.
But, and this is a huge but, isn't it? An organization with this much secret power, it raises that age-old question, who watches the watchers?
It's unavoidable. The source itself brings this up, acknowledging the tension. Power over secrets equals ultimate power.
Yeah. So it poses those critical questions directly. How do you prevent misuse of Z9's data? What if a rogue element takes control? Could Z9 become a tool to silence critics rather than expose corruption? The warning is there. Even democracy can be shadowed by surveillance.
Does the source mention any safeguards? Any checks and balances on Zulu 9 itself?
It does. It claims Zulu 9 has things like ethical review panels, sunset clauses for its powers, and even open data audits scheduled for early 2026.
Okay, so some built-in accountability measures, at least on paper.
On paper, yes. But, and this is a crucial counterpoint, also included in the source, there are apparently voices within the digital parliament saying these safeguards are optional.
Optional.
Yeah, and that they could be delayed if security issues arise. Which, leaves you wondering how robust those checks really are in practice. It creates this uneasy feeling, balancing the promise against the potential for abuse.
Definitely. It's a lot to weigh. Now, amidst all this very serious cloak and dagger stuff, the source actually includes some humor. It does, surprisingly. A little moment of levity. It sort of reminds you that even within these high-stakes, secretive operations, there's a human, sometimes absurd element.
Right. Tell us about those.
Okay, so there's one anecdote about the Zimbabwean president supposedly asking a Z9 agent, "So you've been in my house with barcoded socks. Am I famous now?"
Barcoded socks. Okay.
And another about a Kenyan diplomat apparently winking and saying, "I thought my coffee was bugged. Turns out my Wi-Fi was spying on me." A bit of gallows humor, perhaps.
Maybe. What else?
Then there are Sudan's generals, supposedly complaining, "Now even our bathroom conversations need encryption." But the best one, maybe, according to the source, was a tweet from a Pan-African influencer. Zulu 9 might be the first intelligence agency that needs a therapist.
Huh. Okay, that does add a different perspective. It kind of grounds this potentially terrifying entity in some relatable absurdity.
Exactly. A little reality check amidst the grand claims.
So let's try and wrap this up. Zulu 9, as presented by our source, is this deep state evolution. Shadow unit, Zulu's own shadow, maybe? The eye that never sleeps, acting as a self-policing spine for one Africa.
Yeah, and it's designed to be intrusive. It's inherently controversial, as the source itself highlights. It represents this fundamental shift, focusing security inward.
It forces you, listening to this, to really grapple with a difficult balance, doesn't it? The goal, stated by the source, is fighting internal betrayal, ensuring unity. But the tool is this incredibly powerful, potentially uncontrollable surveillance apparatus.
It really makes you think about what security means in this context. Is the biggest threat external forces, or is it the potential for the dream to collapse from within due to corruption or competing interests? Zulu 9, or the idea of it, is positioned as the answer to that internal threat.
So the final thought for you to chew on, based on all this. In this age of advanced surveillance, where power can be so centralized, how much oversight is enough? Especially when the stated mission is preventing betrayal from the very top. What are the long-term risks of creating such a powerful secret body, even with noble intentions, on a continent working towards democracy and, individual freedoms?
It's a profound question. Where do you draw the line between security and liberty, unity and autonomy, especially when the watchdog itself operates in the shadows? Lots to consider.